I was thinking of maybe we do a catchweight at 190. We get the cruiserweight belts involved, the light heavyweight belts involved, and winner take all. Dmitry said he wanted to fight for the cruiserweight championships before his career was over. So maybe this is we can make a even bigger fight like that. Yeah, so based on the sparring, I know the potential of some certain type of scenarios in the ring. And, you know, for a fight to change and fight to end, it only needs 1 second or one good combination. So I know that I told you guys over and over then that I did this to Sudo Ramirez in the ring. I did the same thing to Dmitry Bivol. You know, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but those are just the facts.
To be honest, now I don't care. Now I wanna come back and then we will see. Yeah, trilogy is. If people want to see it, I would like to show it. If people wanna see Benavidez, let's do it. But for my soul, also, I wanna come. I wanna move up. I wanna try to another weight class. I wanna have some more achievement.
David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol have begun exchanging sharp words over the possibility of a catchweight super fight that many fans believe could play a major role in determining pound-for-pound supremacy. Benavidez has made it clear that his primary goal is to challenge for all of Bivol's world titles, stating that this is the one matchup he wants more than any other at this stage of his career.
Bivol is really he's the only fight I really want, like that I truly want, because he has all the belts. You know what I mean? After I beat Bivol, I'm gonna have, right now I have 8 titles. You know, 3 of them were interim, 3 of them were world championships at super middleweight, light heavyweight. Now I got 2 of them at cruiserweight. I really want those belts. You know, I want those accolades. So that's the only thing I want right now. You know, I'm not thinking about Opataya. I'm not thinking about none of these guys, because this is a fight I want, and it makes sense for both.
With Dmitry Bivol openly expressing interest in a showdown with David Benavidez, Oscar De La Hoya has said the fight could become a defining moment in Bivol's legacy. At the same time, De La Hoya believes Benavidez has the style and momentum to come out on top in what would be one of the most significant matchups in boxing today.
I mean, if he's willing to do that, if he's willing to be great and fight Benavidez, my gosh, that would solidify, you know, Bivol's, you know, Hall of Fame career for sure. But look, yeah, he proves to the world that he's the best at 175. So, yeah, I think that's a hell of a fight. That would be a hell of a route to take.
Would you favor him or Benavidez in that?
Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because, I mean, I would go with Benavidez.
Breaking down the matchup, Oscar De La Hoya believes David Benavidez would defeat Dmitry Bivol because of his relentless activity, powerful punching, hand speed, high-volume combinations, and exceptional footwork, all of which he feels would create constant pressure throughout the fight.
Because he's more active, he throws more punches, he has better footwork, obviously, than Beterbiev. You know, he's smarter up there. He knows how to think, knows how to adjust. Yeah, I would favor Benavidez.
One of the more controversial opinions has come from Max Kellerman, who argues that David Benavidez has not yet received full recognition as a defining champion despite his elite ability. Kellerman believes that much of this is because top fighters have consistently avoided facing him, preventing Benavidez from getting the signature opportunities that would remove any remaining doubt about his status at the top of the sport.
You beat the champion in 2 divisions. Benavidez, by my lights, the way I figure things, has never actually been the champion of a division. Not his fault. Canelo never gave him a shot. So far, neither Bivol gave him a shot, nor Beterbiev, when he was a champ, gave him a shot. Opataya is a champion who is sitting there going, I want to fight you, right? Look, the fact that no one's fought Benavidez, you understand. And I know he just beat Zurdo Ramirez and there were belts on the line. Right. The actual champion of the division is different. Let's say the most likely scenario is he goes back down to light heavy and he fights Bivol, who right now is the light heavyweight champion of the world.
The discussion continues over whether David Benavidez should remain at cruiserweight or move down to light heavyweight, with Devin Haney cautioning that a difficult weight cut could negatively affect Benavidez's strength, stamina, and overall performance inside the ring.
I love that for him because we've seen guys like Roy Jones go up in weight, and they come back down and they just aren't the same. I think he was already killing himself to make the weight. I've seen him do the weight cuts. I think that, you know, those weight cuts are brutal on him. I think that he's at cruiserweight. This is where we've seen the best of him. I think he should stay up there.
You know, guys, I agree, and I'll tell you something else. Where are you? Where are you with this?
Me? I like it. I like the fight.
You like him going back down?
I think.
Or do you want Bivol to come up?
I think Bivol. No. Go back down if he likes to. He could choose it. I mean, he's champion in both weight divisions.
At one point, Max Kellerman went even further by arguing that Teofimo Lopez should not be viewed as a fully established title holder in the broader discussion about boxing's top champions. Kellerman used that point to emphasize that David Benavidez still has not been given the marquee opportunities he has earned, largely because several elite opponents have been reluctant to face him.
Especially should not be calling the title holders champions, because think of how hard it was. You actually had to be the champion of the whole wide world. It's different. It's different. The guys who need to call themselves champions who just grab a belt are the dudes who aren't good enough or didn't have the opportunity to even fight those fights. Anyway.
It hits different, and I feel like with Bivol, I think he's the only one that'll possibly give David Benavidez a little bit of run for his money.
Who do you like in the fight?
Moving all that?
Because of the movement, I think that Benavidez really capitalizes when you're right there with him. Yeah. And I think Bivol doesn't give you that kind of momentum.
The future of David Benavidez remains one of the most discussed topics in boxing, with Shawn Porter emphasizing that Benavidez must make a careful decision about which weight class best serves his long-term success. Porter has also mentioned Gilberto Ramirez as an appealing matchup he would like to see first. In Porter's view, Dmitry Bivol could face an even more difficult challenge against Benavidez than he did against Artur Beterbiev. At the same time, the ongoing rivalry involving Bivol and Beterbiev continues to cast uncertainty over the division and keeps Benavidez's next move one of the most intriguing storylines in the sport.
At that weight class, I personally want to see the fight against Opataya. I personally want to see the fight against Bivol. Bivol, you're still around, and since you're still around, not that we're feeding you to the wolves, but this guy I think is young, vibrant, and probably would be, in a lot of ways, a tougher fight than Benavidez. Or I'm sorry, than.
Of course. Remember, I've been saying that. People, I'm good on the trilogy, man. Let Benavidez get his shot.
Focusing specifically on a potential showdown between David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol, Shawn Porter believes this matchup is even more compelling and entertaining than a third fight between Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. Porter explained that while Beterbiev is an exceptionally dangerous and powerful fighter, his style is more direct and less tactically complex. In contrast, Benavidez and Bivol combine elite technique, pressure, and offensive versatility, creating a contest in which both men have the ability to hurt one another. Porter believes that this constant element of mutual danger is what makes the matchup the most exciting and attractive fight currently available in the division.
Styles make fights. With Beterbiev, he's not complicated. He's going to be right there to hit and be hit, And like we saw with Bivol, it's up to Bivol to make the right moves, not be in the wrong spots at the right time. But with this fight with Benavidez, to me, there's just so much more that both these guys can do against one another that it makes it a better fight than the trilogy match with Beterbiev.
Teofimo Lopez has also weighed in on the discussion, saying that David Benavidez has several options available and that the decision to move up or down in weight ultimately rests with him. At the same time, Lopez believes Dmitry Bivol is the opponent most likely to cause Benavidez serious problems. He points to Bivol's mastery of distance and ring control, arguing that Benavidez could face difficulties if the fight turns into a long tactical battle over 12 rounds. Lopez also noted that David Morrell was able to challenge Benavidez with his awkward timing and deceptive style, suggesting that Bivol's disciplined approach could present an even more demanding test.
Place right now.
I get it. I get it.
Is he in a tough place because he's at cruiserweight, and then if he drops back down to 175, or the fight with Usyk is a heavyweight, then he's in a hard place. Well, how should he maneuver that?
If he's cruiserweight, then they have a new weight class, a bridgerweight, or is that only WBC side?
Yeah.
Only WBC?
Yeah, that's an option.
You know what I mean? And he's basically WBC world champion, so they could probably round him there too. so many avenues for him.
You mentioned you think Bivol is probably the only one that could challenge
just
him?
because of the distance.
Yeah.
David Morrell gave him a tough fight. You know what I mean? And that was just from the range a little bit here and there, and giving him a fight.
Ariel Helwani described a potential clash between David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol as a gigantic fight, pointing out how strongly American fans still associate Bivol with his win over Saul Canelo Alvarez. He suggested that this historical connection to the Canelo storyline, combined with Benavidez's long-standing link to that same division, could elevate the matchup into a generational level event with massive global interest. Helwani also noted that Benavidez's previous high-profile rivalry build-up with David Morrell already helped generate strong arena demand, and argued that a fight with Bivol could surpass that level of attention due to its scale, styles, and stakes.
This fight, Benavidez-Bivol, way bigger here in America. We just saw Benavidez carry a promotion with David Morrell, and Morrell did his part as well, but they sold out T-Mobile. A lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to do that. And now you bring in Dmitry Bivol, who a lot of American fans remember was the guy to beat Canelo Alvarez just a few years back. I think it would be a gigantic fight.
David Benavidez has reportedly floated the idea of a catchweight super fight with Dmitry Bivol, and the debate around that move continues to intensify. Chris Algieri commented that Benavidez may be sending mixed signals, suggesting it is difficult to imagine him moving back down to 175 after competing at higher weights and proving himself physically at that level. Algieri described it as a potentially disappointing direction if it were to happen, but also acknowledged that Benavidez has shown unpredictability throughout his career. He added that this uncertainty only increases the intrigue and tension around a possible matchup with Bivol, keeping fans and analysts closely watching how the situation develops.
Trepidation fight week when he was saying, I feel so good, you're going to see the best version of me. Because if you go out there and you do exactly what he did, you're not going to want to leave the weight class. You're going to want to struggle and get back down to 75 when you literally look your best at this weight. So the writing was kind of on the wall with that. And now that he's alluding to that, that tells me that he's probably not going back down to 75 again, which is a real shame because I know I really want that Bivol fight. But listen, David is full of surprise.
On the sideline, Roy Jones Jr. is pushing David Benavidez to immediately target Oleksandr Usyk and to stay away from other names, such as Gio Pataya. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev are also mentioned as fighters to avoid for now, while he strongly believes Benavidez is already ready and performing at his absolute peak, and he even describes him as the most dangerous fighter in boxing at this moment. The idea is also echoed in comparison to Roy Jones Jr. pointing out Benavidez as the hottest name in the sport right now. Meanwhile, Chris Algieri, although being a supporter of Roy Jones Jr., does not fully agree with the idea of rushing into a fight against Usyk at this stage. He considers both perspectives and suggests that Usyk could provide a major challenge, but may not necessarily hold dominance for a long period. In his view, if Benavidez steps into the ring with a legendary opponent at this point in his career, then his legacy would become firmly established and permanently recognized.
Podcast. Roy is an absolute legend. I always pay homage to Roy. He's my favorite fighter who I've ever seen fight live in my lifetime. I don't like the idea of going right for Usyk. I know it's I know it's a big name. I know this would be the only opportunity to do it, and I think that's where he's coming from, because Usyk's not around for a long time. He's here for a good time, not a long time. So if you're gonna fight a living legend, an epic guy, like you're gonna get one of those fights. You know, this is it. There's not many like Usyk. It's like me getting the Pacquiao fight. Like if I didn't fight Pacquiao, like I got to fight a legend. I fought a legend.
Looking at the buzz, David Benavidez has responded to growing talk about a possible fight with Oleksandr Usyk, and he says he is not fully convinced that this matchup is realistic at this stage. Even with Turki Alashik pushing the idea forward, he feels that moving straight into heavyweight level competition is still too big of a step for him right now. He explains that his main priority is to establish full dominance in both the light heavyweight and cruiserweight divisions first. Only after proving complete control in those weight classes would he even think about moving up and facing such a major challenge.
As of me, for having a competitive spirit, that definitely does interest me. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, you don't know what's possible until you make it possible. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think I can't beat Usyk, but if I really put my mind into it, and you know, train for maybe like a year, because I'm, you know, I barely came up to heavyweight. I mean, I barely came up to cruiserweight. I can't just go up to heavyweight like that. You know what I mean? But if I train myself and I prepare myself, I could beat anybody in the world. But right now, that's not possible for me in my eyes.